idea or yours?
Who do you think? I just felt someone writing something on my neck as I was signing stuff. I turned around and Josh is just getting after it. So probably sell the neck for a lot now, huh?
I think you said you were going to a destination wedding this summer, right? Did you do that?
Yeah, had a wedding in Mexico for my buddy J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, plays for the Eagles. It's a great time. Mexico's always fun. Good weather, so it was fun.
This is your first time here, though, right? Dawson,
Second time. Rookie year was 19.
Why do you, if you do, think it's important to be in a setting like this versus back in Buffalo rookie?
I think it helps the team come together a little bit better, especially with guys that have families and kids. Like, I don't have a wife or kids or anything, so I'm by myself anyway. But when you can kind of get away and get more alone time with the guys, whether it's during the off time in the dorms, playing card games and board games, or really just being away from everything and focusing on football, I think it kind of helps that chemistry build a little quicker.
Talked a lot, members of the offense, Dawson, about Ken taking over or whatever. For your perspective, we know there's a lot of carryover when you promote from within like that. Talk about that, I guess, and maybe what's different, what you guys are adjusting to.
Yeah, a whole lot of carryover. He knows exactly what Josh likes because he's been his quarterback coach for the last few years. I don't want to give away any trade secrets right now. I know you guys don't want me to do that either. So we're going to keep a lot of the stuff in-house. But there's definitely some cool twists that we're working on. It's fun having guys like O.J. in the room. There's going to be a lot of diversity, a lot of versatility with the position now. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that's added, but he's keeping a lot of the stuff the same too.
Dawson, what kind of diversity does O.J. bring you? What do you see there?
I mean, he's a freak athlete, first of all. He makes me feel small. I mean, the dude's like, 6'6". His arms are massive. Just having another weapon like that's just going to make us that much harder to stop. So I think he's just going to push me to be better, too. I think the better the room is as a whole, the better each individual is going to be as well. But it's going to be fun to bring us in, run the ball some, then spread us out, get us good matchups on linebackers. So it's just an extra piece that, it's going to be a nightmare to defend for a defense.
It is a matchup issue for defenses, right? When you both.
Oh, yeah. We can't wait. It's going to be a nightmare for a lot of defenses.
Is there an acclimation period that goes with all this new, as you say, fun stuff that you're doing to learn it?
Yeah, and a lot of that acclimation period was during OTAs, which we already knocked out with minicamp. We already started installing stuff back in April. So a lot of this stuff is stuff we've already been going over for a few months now. Now we just get to kind of run around and do it full speed, which I've always been the type of learner where I need to go out and actually do it to kind of get it to click in my head. So, over the next few weeks, it's going to be huge for us to start developing that playbook.
What kind of leader are you now that you've kind of become the veteran in the tight end room? I know we were just talking to Diggs, and he was like, I only push people who I think, can get something out of it. How do you do that?
I think it's important to take guys kind of one-on-one, whether it's in the locker room or kind of to the side during practice. I've never been like the rah-rah guy in the huddle, but I think it's important just to make sure guys are doing well mentally too, because I know when I was a rookie, my head was spinning. I just didn't want to go mess up. I wasn't thinking about going and making plays or doing something good for the offense. I was thinking about, just make sure you're in the right position at the right time. So I think just making sure guys are kind of bought into what we have going here and just making sure they're doing good in the mental aspect of their game is huge.
You mentioned being here as a rookie and how your head was spinning, and now you're going into your fourth year. You're in a much different position in your career. It's a contract year for you, too. How much thought have you given that, if any, right now?
I haven't really given it much thought. I want this to be the same type of approach I had to last year too, just kind of chip on my shoulder, still got stuff to prove. I know last year was better for me, but I feel like I've just, started to scratch the top of the iceberg. So I just want to keep building on what I did last year and just have that same kind of edge to me that I haven't really proven what I need to prove yet.
Do you think with that in mind, can you think you can get an extension before September 8th?
It's up to Brandon Bean. You can ask him that question.
When you go back to being a rookie, and a lot of veterans will say they tell the young guys what a grind it is and how you prepare for the year. How much differently do you feel coming into this camp than you did even with the way it was the last couple of years or back to 19 when you know what's ahead of you?
It's definitely a lot more comfortable going into year 4 than it is year 1. I mean, you know what to expect. You kind of know the system. You know all the guys. There's none of that, there's no rookie nerves coming in. So there's definitely a little more calming coming in, being able to play fast. I know the routes, I know how to read defenses. Just being able to play free, because I think that's when you play your best too.
But even the grind of it's 17 games and the playoffs and all that college can only prepare you so much for, knowing what's ahead of you physically for a whole year.
Yeah, it's hard to start thinking about it as a whole. You just got to take it week by week, even day by day during camp right now. I mean, it's only day 2. If we start thinking about, what's going to look like, come game 1, we're already ahead of ourselves, and that's not where you want to be. So you just want to kind of have the, seize the day mentality of waking up, knocking today out, getting some good rest, and when tomorrow comes, we'll worry about tomorrow.
How aware are you guys as a team of these massive expectations, and has it been much of a talking point here early in camp on how to navigate all that's going to be, put on top of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's naturally going to be a target on our backs, but, I mean, we didn't even make the AFC Championship last year, so I think we still got tons to prove. I think we have all the right pieces to do what we need to do, but it's kind of what I just talked about, just taking it day by day, starting to build that chemistry, and we want to be on the hunt too. We want to be looking at everybody on our schedule like they got to come play us, and we got to, go do what we need to do to take care of what we need to take care of this season. So I think our mentality is just going on the hunt and not being the hunted.
Dawson, last year you said you worked a lot with a hand-eye coordination coach. We talked a lot about that. Did you do that again this year, or was there something else you added to your?
Yeah, still did a lot of the similar things I did last year, this year. Ryan Harrison's a great dude, saw him some, but he's given me so many tools I can use by myself too. So it's not like I got to go out to California for another 6 weeks to do that stuff. But it's also just kind of a confidence boost to start making plays on the field, because once you start doing that, you realize you can do it, and the game starts slowing down too. The more you can read defenses, the more you know what Josh is looking for in certain progressions. So it's really just kind of an experience thing too. Like my senior year in college, I only caught 15 balls. So just starting to stack good weeks on good weeks, getting those catches, getting those, getting that chemistry down with Josh is key.
A couple times early in practice, Stephon seemed to get vocal, asking for a little more energy. How have you seen him grow as a leader in the last couple of years since he got here?
Yeah, he's the man. Everyone loves him, and we know that he gets intense during practice, and it's kind of what someone mentioned earlier. We know that if he gets onto you, that means he expects something out of you, which is a good thing. It's like that whole coaching mentality. If your coach isn't telling you when you're messing up, it means they're not really invested. You want that coaching. You want that, fierce competitor to come out of him, because we know that means he cares. So, we've had a couple slow starts to a couple practices, but we finally got the juice flowing this practice, and I think he does a great job bringing that extra energy for us.
What's it like having him on the field? He said he does like to kind of make the guys around him better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you can't get excited to play with that dude, I don't know who you can get excited to play with. He's always hooping and hollering, chest bumping, talking trash to the defense. It honestly makes me want to guard him sometimes, just get that competitive side going on him. But, yeah, we won't take that for granted. He's awesome.
You mentioned that you still have those higher expectations for yourself, as well as your offense did last year. How do you think you can take that to another level, and how key is it to implement those things in training camp to get off on the right gear early?
Again, I think it's just picking, one thing to get better on every day. It's hard to, have a bullet point list of 10 things that you got to knock out every day. I think it's just important to take every day for what it's worth, work on one thing at a time till you start getting comfortable with it, and then moving on to the next thing. So, just picking out 1 or 2 things a day, knocking it out, and slowly starting to chip away at that big picture where we see ourselves in the next few months.
You went to the Tight End University thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything you took specifically from that? Did anyone point out something that you use now, or what stood out about that?
Tight end U's also always super fun. Some of the stuff I took away were some of the releases we worked with Greg Olson, just against press coverage. Nothing crazy. Just a couple extra tools to add to my tool belt, whether we got outside leverage or inside leverage or just straight up man press coverage. I think there were a lot of cool drills we were able to get done with him.
Is it fun to spend time with a lot of tight ends? What's the vibe?
Yeah, it's always fun because it's almost like a big fraternity almost, because every guy is very similar with their personalities, because tight ends, we kind of get thrown around everywhere. We got to do the job of an O-line and job of a receiver. It's a very unselfish position because we want to be able to do whatever it takes to help the team win, whether it's blocking, pass protection, running routes, scoring touchdowns. So everyone has a pretty similar mindset. So it's always fun getting everyone together, doing some of the football stuff, but also, going to stuff like Top Golf and golfing on the weekends, bowling. I mean, you name it. We were having some fun. Very competitive. Yeah, no question about that.
You mentioned how O.J. can help this offense in a lot of ways. It could potentially make Tommy's role a little smaller. Since you're so close with Tommy, just how have you seen him respond to that and just that higher level of competition this year? Oh,
Tommy's one of the best dudes I've ever met. So he's taking it, it's making him work even harder. I think there's a great potential to see him on the roster too, whether it's 13 personnel or him pushing OJ, and he pushes me as well. I mean, some of his blocking techniques I still learn from, and he's just a very, very consistent dude that is super smart, so he knows the whole playbook. He's even taught me some stuff from time to time. So it's been great just seeing him kind of adjust to that and just work even harder, to try to get that roster spot.
That's happening at the same time where, Ken Dorsey might change things too, so kind of both have changed at once, of the group and the playbook as a whole?
Yeah, we've already started doing more 13 personnel stuff and 22 personnel with Reggie on the field too. He's been great at that fullback position. But we've already, through the first 2 days, we've seen more 13 personnel than we did a lot of last year. So it's going to be fun to just have that extra step of versatility.
Kind of joking earlier when you said it's up to Brandon Beane about an extension, but is that something that you've communicated to your agent that you're interested in, and hope that at least the ball is rolling in that
Well,
process?
yeah. I mean, first and foremost, I want to be here. I mean, I bought a house here a few months ago, not because I want to be gone in a year. So I want to be here as long as I can, but I know a lot of that stuff's out of my hands with, salary cap. I try not to, read into all that too much. But I've definitely communicated that I want to be here for an extended amount of time. So whether that's getting the extension now or later, I definitely hope that happens.
How was the house buying process?
Oh, it was long, but I'm very excited to finally be settled down, have a little privacy. I was living downtown for a while, which was fun. During COVID, it wasn't very fun, but it's nice being out in Orchard Park. Yeah, thank you.